Hello, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments so that I may answer your questions. I have a great topic for you tonight. I'm going to be talking about going from the 2-year green card to the 10-year green card without your spouse. That is a thing that happens sometimes where you have to go through the process on your own, and I'm going to explain how that works and what you need to do to make sure that you're able to apply for the 10-year green card without your spouse if they are not going to be involved in your process. So what I'm talking about here is the 2-year conditional permanent residence. Now, with the 2-year conditional permanent residence, it is issued when, at the time you're approved for your green card, you have been married to your U.S. citizen or resident spouse for less than 2 years. If you've been married for less than 2 years, then you'll be issued this 2-year green card. It's a temporary permanent residence, and it sort of provides you a 2-year probationary period. I like to call it probationary period, where they allow you to live with your spouse, live as a permanent resident, do everything as a permanent resident would, except when it comes to the 2-year mark on your permanent resident card, it's going to expire. So within 90 days of the expiration on your card, you will need to make sure that you submit an application jointly with your spouse to what's called remove the conditions from your card and be able to get the 10-year. Now, the purpose of this is to make sure that you can show evidence that you continue to live as a bona fide couple, married couple. And so when you're submitting this permanent resident application to get the 10-year, you are going to have to show evidence, additional evidence, not the old evidence you showed when you were applying first. You're going to have to show new updated evidence that's dated from the time that you received the green card up to the time that you applied, showing that you continue to do things as a married couple should be doing those. For example, you added each other to more of your benefits. You continue to live together by showing joint leases. You open new financial accounts. You added each other to retirement accounts, that you had children maybe. So anything that's going to show that you continue to build your life together over the few years is going to be valuable evidence that has to be issued with this application. The application that's going to be submitted is called the I-751 form, not the I-90. So don't get it confused here. Don't go, and I've seen this before. There is a difference between renewing your card and then removing the conditions on your temporary green card to get the 10-year green card. So keep that in mind, different processes. Now, what I want to touch on is the situation where things fell apart with your spouse during the 2-year time. Maybe you didn't make it to the 2 years. They're now out of the picture. You're divorcing, you're separated, or they turned into an abusive spouse. Maybe they were abusive before, but now you've reached a point where you don't want to deal with it anymore, and you don't want to apply with them. You may not trust them. So for example, I have seen where the spouse has sabotaged the process of their immigrant spouse so that they don't get the 10-year. And they do this intentionally because they may be abusive already. I have seen where they have been divorced. And in that case, you may not understand. So I've seen where some people say, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to live here until I get deported because my spouse won't apply with me. You don't have to do that. That's the worst mistake you can make. You can apply for the permanent residence on your own, get the 10-year, but you must be proactive. you must submit a waiver request based on three different options. Doesn't have to be all three, but it must be at least one of the three to be able to qualify to apply on your own. So for example, if you're getting divorced, you had you had a bona fide marriage, you had a real marriage, but perhaps it just didn't work out. That happened so many times. And in that situation, you can apply for a waiver based on the divorce. You'll have to show the final divorce decree along with evidence still that your marriage was real, it just didn't work out. The next is, I had mentioned before, if your spouse is verbally abusive, mentally abusive, physically abusive, any one of those, you could qualify for a waiver based on mistreatment. And then the third is based on your extreme hardship. Now, when you can't sit down on this, if the minute you know that your spouse is not going to be available, this waiver application has to be prepared and submitted, and that's where I come in. I help my clients to prepare a great application to help them to achieve the 10-year green card without the spouse. So you can always call, schedule an appointment. The 24-hour phone line is open. My number is all over my videos, and you can also go to the link in the profile to schedule your appointment. Now, let me remind you that I'm also here to answer your questions. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments so that I may answer, and I see a few coming in. So let me go ahead and review those. So if I apply for asylum, can I file for my husband in Jamaica? So yes, it's possible for the spouse to be able to get the same status as if you were granted asylum. When you put in your VAWA application, how long does it take? So it's hard to say. I mean, I can't tell you exactly how long your case is going to take. And there are different stages to this. I don't know if you just submitted a VAWA application. Have you submitted an adjustment of status and a work permit? Now with the VAWA application, it's taken over a year to get decisions on those. The prima facie takes a few months. That's like the pre-approval that says it appears as if you qualified. They just have to review it further to make sure. The work permit is taking about 7 to 11 months right now. Can I migrate to USA? How to apply for a green card through lottery? So TikTok user, you'll have to go to the Department of State's website, and then you can just hit diversity lottery. You will see all the information, read on it. They open up the portal to sign up around October. So keep putting those questions in the comments. I'm also on YouTube. You can put your comments you can put your questions in the comments on YouTube as well, and I will answer. So I'm going to put my phone number in the comments on each platform. So on TikTok and then YouTube, I'm under The Immigration Attorney. On YouTube, I'm under Sharifa Tharpe. Go ahead and call that number if you need to schedule your own appointment to talk about your particular situation. Because remember that the information that I'm giving you is not it's not personal legal advice, it's general information. And so you should not be taking any action on this, on anything that I say here, until you get personal legal advice. So I'm under The Immigration Attorney on TikTok. So I don't see any more questions coming in, and I pretty much said what I needed to say. I'm not finished though. I'm just heading on over to Instagram where I will continue with this topic. So you can join me there and ask your questions. So Black Star Shaw, I am located in Boca Raton, Florida. However, keep in mind that I'm a U.S. immigration attorney. I represent clients all over the country. I can do that all over the world. I can do that because it is a federal practice, meaning a national type practice, and it's not based on state law. And so if you, no matter where you are in the country or in the globe, you can give me a call and schedule your appointment. Go to the link in the profile. Hi there on YouTube. If you change your last name to your husband's, which name should you file under? So if you've legally changed your name, Opal, and your name is, you have your name on your documentation, you should use the name that is on your documentation. So if you've changed your name and now it's in your passport, you could use your married name. There is a space on the application that asks for other names that you've used, and that's where you're going to put your maiden name and any other names that you've used. Now, keep in mind that I don't advise on particular specifics on the application forms, just because that's getting too into the nitty-gritty. But here, if you've legally changed your name, you should be using your legal name that you've changed it to. Thanks for the question. Can you represent me, seeing I live in Trinidad, not Florida? Absolutely, TikTok. If you have a U.S. immigration issue, then I can assist you. The first thing that I do is we talk in a consultation. I evaluate your case in detail, make sure you qualify, provide you all your options, provide you the legal advice you need, and then I offer to represent you should you qualify for any U.S. immigration benefits. So absolutely, give me a call. You can call right now. There's a 24/7 number. The scheduling coordinator will get back to you tomorrow and schedule your appointment. So great questions. Thanks so much. Now I'm heading on over to Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, I'm ST Law Office. That's the name of the firm. And on Instagram, I'm the same as here, the Immigration Attorney. Go ahead, join me there to continue this conversation and to ask your questions. And also keep in mind that I am here most nights of the week, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if you didn't get to ask your question, this is not your last chance. You will always see me here showing up for you, giving you information, and also answering your questions. So it's not the last opportunity. Also, follow me on Instagram. That's where most of the content is. Most of the videos, they're released there first. So I am the Immigration Attorney on Instagram. Thanks so much for the love. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for giving me the time today. I hope to see you tomorrow. And thanks, Opal on YouTube, for your question. And I hope to get more questions on YouTube. Because I really want to provide you the information that you care about. So have a good night, everyone. I will see you I'll see you tomorrow.